If the skin on your arms, chest, neck, or hands has suddenly started looking thin, wrinkled, and almost like crumpled paper, there is something I want you to know. You probably don't need more products. You need to change the way you use the right ones. Because crepey skin after 50 isn't simply dry skin. And this is where many routines go wrong. People buy firming creams, collagen creams, expensive oils, body lotions, exfoliating scrubs, and still look in the mirror and wonder, why does my skin keep getting thinner? The answer has to do with collagen, elastin, hydration, the skin barrier, and something that happened to your skin years before you could see the damage. I'm Dr. Liséth López, a physician with studies in dermatology, and today I'm going to show you a simple 3-minute routine that targets the things we can actually influence. But there's one step in this routine that most people completely skip, and it may be the most important one. By the end of this video, you'll understand why crepey skin becomes much more noticeable after 50, which everyday habits accelerated, which skincare ingredients are actually worth your money, and which popular firming treatments are mostly marketing. Then I'll give you a very simple morning and evening routine that takes about 3 minutes. No complicated 10-step regimen, no expensive collection of 12 different creams, and no promise that a moisturizer can magically rebuild decades of lost collagen. Because if we're going to talk about mature skin, I want to talk about what actually works. Let's start with something that can be surprisingly emotional. You may look at your arms today and think, when did my skin become like this? Maybe you noticed it when you lifted your arm, maybe it appeared around your knees, or perhaps the first place you noticed it was your chest or neck. And sometimes the change seems to happen almost overnight. But biologically, it usually didn't. The process was developing for years. As we age, the skin gradually becomes thinner and its ability to retain water changes. Collagen production decreases, elastic fibers become altered, and the extracellular matrix, the structural environment surrounding skin cells, changes as well. At the same time, the skin's barrier becomes more vulnerable. And there's another important factor: menopause. For women, declining estrogen around menopause is associated with significant changes in skin thickness, collagen content, hydration, and elasticity. So if you're in your 50s and thinking, my skin changed so much after menopause, you're not imagining it. But menopause isn't the only explanation, because there's a second aging process happening at the same time. And this one is largely preventable. When dermatologists talk about premature skin aging, ultraviolet radiation is one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle. Think about 2 identical pieces of fabric. One stays inside a drawer, the other spends decades exposed to sunlight. Which one do you expect to become weaker, faded, and more fragile? Your skin behaves similarly. Chronic ultraviolet exposure damages collagen and alters elastic fibers. Over time, this contributes to wrinkles, laxity, uneven pigmentation, and that thin, crepey appearance. And here's the frustrating part. You may be seeing the consequences today of sun exposure you had 20, 30, or 40 years ago. That's why sunscreen isn't just about preventing sunburn. At 55, sunscreen is still an anti-aging intervention, because even if you can't erase the damage that's already there, you can reduce the amount of additional damage happening every day. And that's where our 3-minute routine begins. The first minute is incredibly simple: moisturize. But I don't mean grabbing the thickest cream you can find and covering yourself from head to toe. The formulation matters. When skin becomes crepey, hydration can temporarily make a dramatic visual difference because water changes the way the outermost layer of skin reflects light and behaves mechanically. That's why a well-formulated moisturizer can make crepey skin look smoother almost immediately. But there is a difference between temporary improvement and structural repair. Humectants such as glycerin can attract water. Ingredients such as ceramides can support the skin barrier. Occlusive ingredients can reduce water loss from the surface. And when you combine these approaches, you're addressing one of the things that makes mature skin look particularly thin and crinkled: dehydration. So here's the trick. Don't wait until your skin is completely dry. Apply your moisturizer shortly after bathing while the skin still has some water on its surface. You're essentially trapping that hydration instead of trying to recover it later. And that tiny change can make your routine much more efficient, but hydration is only half the story, because you can make dry skin look smoother without actually addressing why it's becoming fragile. And that's where minute 2 comes in. If I had to choose one topical category with some of the strongest evidence for improving photoaged skin, I would put retinoids very high on the list. Retinoids are vitamin A derivatives, and unlike many firming creams that simply make the skin feel temporarily tighter or smoother, topical retinoids have evidence supporting their role in photoaging. They can influence epidermal turnover and stimulate processes associated with dermal remodeling and collagen production. But here's the part that matters after 50. More is not better. If you put a strong retinoid on your arms every night and your skin becomes red, itchy, peeling, and irritated, you've created another problem. Mature skin often needs a slower approach. Start with a low-frequency application, perhaps a few nights per week, depending on the specific product and how your skin tolerates it, and moisturize. If your skin is particularly sensitive, you may need an even gentler approach. And remember, retinoids are not magic erasers. They don't remove loose skin. They don't restore your skin to the way it looked at 25. What they can do is improve certain aspects of skin texture and photoaging over time. That distinction is important because the goal isn't to make a 55-year-old body look 25. The goal is to make mature skin healthier, smoother, stronger, and better protected. And there is one major problem with using a retinoid that many people completely overlook. Imagine spending months using a retinoid while simultaneously damaging your skin barrier every morning. You're exfoliating aggressively, you're taking long, hot showers, you're using fragranced products that irritate you, you're skipping sunscreen, and then you wonder why your skin looks increasingly dry. This is the paradox. A powerful active doesn't compensate for a damaged barrier. That's why I don't want you to build your routine around one hero ingredient. I want you to build it around consistency, gentle cleansing, hydration, a well-tolerated active, and sun protection. That combination is far more sensible than constantly changing products. And speaking of changing products, there's one category I want you to be especially careful with. Crepey skin often feels rough, so people assume, maybe I need to exfoliate it. And then they buy a scrub, then another scrub, then a body brush, then an exfoliating acid, and suddenly they're attacking their skin several times a week. The problem? Roughness doesn't necessarily mean you need aggressive exfoliation. Sometimes the skin is rough because it's dry, sometimes the barrier is compromised, sometimes there's accumulated dead skin that can benefit from a gentle keratolytic. But aggressive physical exfoliation can create irritation and worsen dryness. So if you want an exfoliating ingredient, think controlled and gentle, not scrub until the skin feels brand new. Ingredients such as lactic acid, urea, or salicylic acid can have useful roles depending on the specific problem and formulation, but they aren't interchangeable. Urea, for example, can function as a humectant and at higher concentrations has keratolytic effects. Lactic acid can help with surface exfoliation while also providing humectant properties. Salicylic acid is particularly useful when there is follicular plugging or rough texture. The key is matching the ingredient to the problem, not collecting all of them. Because there's still one step that can undo everything you've done: sunscreen. If the exposed area is going to receive sunlight, protect it. Face, neck, chest, hands, arms when exposed. A broad spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher is a practical baseline for daily use, combined with protective clothing and shade when appropriate. And if you're thinking, but I don't want to put sunscreen all over my body every morning, I understand. Then prioritize the areas that are actually exposed. Your face and neck are obvious. Your chest is another area that often receives years of cumulative sun exposure. And your hands are constantly exposed while driving, walking, gardening, and doing everyday activities. If you want one habit that pays off for years, sun protection is hard to beat. But here's something else you can do. If you spend significant time outdoors, don't rely exclusively on sunscreen. A long-sleeved UPF garment can protect a large area of skin without requiring you to constantly reapply lotion. That's especially useful for the arms. And this brings us to the causes that aren't sitting inside a bottle. What you do every day can accelerate crepey skin. Let's talk about smoking. Smoking is associated with premature skin aging and poorer skin quality. Tobacco smoke exposes the body to chemicals that contribute to oxidative stress and vascular changes, while smoking is also associated with reduced collagen synthesis and increased collagen breakdown. In simple terms, Smoking makes it harder for your skin to maintain its structural support. If you smoke, quitting isn't just good for your lungs and heart. It's one of the most meaningful things you can do for your skin. And then there's alcohol. A glass of wine isn't going to suddenly destroy your collagen. I don't want to exaggerate this. But heavy alcohol consumption can contribute to dehydration, nutritional problems, inflammation, and other factors that can negatively affect overall skin health. So if you're drinking heavily and your goal is healthier aging, reducing alcohol intake makes much more sense than buying another collagen booster. And then there's another factor that people rarely connect with skin aging: sleep. Poor sleep doesn't magically create loose skin overnight. But chronic sleep disruption is associated with impaired skin barrier function and poorer recovery from environmental stress. Your skin repairs itself while you're living your life, and it needs adequate time and resources to do that. Now we're entering controversial territory. Because collagen supplements are everywhere: powders, gummies, drinks, capsules, and I know why they're attractive. The idea is incredibly simple. I'm losing collagen, so I'll drink collagen. But the biology is more complicated. When you consume collagen, your digestive system breaks it down into peptides and amino acids. Some studies have reported improvements in skin hydration and elasticity with oral collagen peptides. But the evidence is not equivalent to saying this supplement rebuilds your face. It doesn't. And product quality, dose, study design, and funding all matter when interpreting the evidence. So if you enjoy a collagen supplement and it's affordable for you, that's a personal choice. But I would never recommend spending hundreds of dollars on it while ignoring sunscreen, smoking, sleep, nutrition, and a well-formulated skincare routine. Those basics come first. And there's another nutrient that deserves far more attention than most beauty supplements: protein. Collagen is a protein. Your body needs amino acids and adequate nutrition to maintain tissues. As we age, maintaining adequate protein intake becomes increasingly important for overall muscle and tissue health. This doesn't mean eating enormous amounts of protein or turning every meal into a bodybuilding meal. It means avoiding chronically inadequate nutrition. A balanced diet with sufficient protein, fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, and adequate hydration supports the overall environment in which your skin functions. And remember, a cream cannot compensate for severe nutritional deficiencies. A supplement cannot compensate for smoking, and collagen powder cannot cancel out decades of unprotected ultraviolet exposure. There is no single product that wins against everything else. So let's make this extremely practical. If you're over 50 and you're dealing with crepey skin, here's how I would simplify it. In the mornings, start with a gentle cleanser if you need one. If your body skin isn't dirty or sweaty, you don't necessarily need an aggressive soap everywhere every morning. Then apply a moisturizer. Look for a simple formulation with ingredients such as glycerin, ceramides, or other barrier-supportive ingredients. And then broad-spectrum SPF 30 or higher on exposed skin. That's it. 3 basic steps. Evening after bathing, gently pat your skin dry. Don't scrub. While the skin is still slightly damp, apply your moisturizer. If you're using a retinoid on the body and your skin tolerates it, introduce it gradually rather than applying it aggressively every night. On alternate evenings, you can use a gentle keratolytic product if rough texture is a concern. You don't need to use every active every night. In fact, doing less may be what finally allows your skin to tolerate the routine consistently. And consistency is where the results come from. This is probably the most important concept in the entire video. When someone says, "I have crepey skin," that doesn't tell me exactly what needs to be treated. There could be dehydration, there could be photoaging, there could be thinning of the dermis, there could be reduced elasticity, there could be actual laxity and excess skin, there could be a combination of all of them. And skincare works best on some of these problems, not equally on all of them. If the skin is primarily dry and textured, moisturizing can make a surprisingly noticeable difference. If photoaging is contributing, sunscreen and evidence-based actives become important. If there's significant laxity, however, a cream has limitations. And this is where people sometimes become disappointed with skincare. They expect a lotion to physically tighten tissue. It can't. If you have significant laxity, there are medical procedures that may produce more noticeable tightening or remodeling than topical skincare. Depending on the area and your anatomy, dermatologists and other qualified specialists may discuss treatments such as radiofrequency, certain laser procedures, ultrasound-based technologies, microneedling, or combinations of treatments. But the evidence and results vary considerably between devices, settings, patient characteristics, and treatment areas. That's why I don't like saying, just get this machine. There is no universal machine that works equally well for every person. And if someone promises that one treatment will completely erase crepey skin after one session, I would be skeptical. The goal of a professional treatment should be realistic improvement, not a miracle. There's an easy experiment you can do. Look at the skin on your face, then look at the backs of your hands. Your hands often reveal cumulative environmental exposure because they're exposed to sunlight, water, detergents, temperature changes, and mechanical stress constantly. And many people spend hundreds of dollars protecting their face while completely ignoring their hands. So extend the routine, moisturize them, protect them from the sun, use gloves for prolonged exposure to detergents or harsh chemicals, and reapply sunscreen when you're spending time outdoors. It sounds boring, but dermatology is often boring in the best possible way. The things that work consistently are rarely the things that go viral. So, can you completely eliminate crepey skin after 55? No honest dermatologist should promise that. But can you make it look significantly healthier and smoother? Absolutely. The biggest improvements come from combining several modest interventions rather than looking for one miraculous product. Protect the skin from ultraviolet radiation. Keep the barrier hydrated. Use evidence-based topical actives when appropriate. Avoid smoking. Keep alcohol intake moderate. Eat adequately, get enough sleep, and if laxity is significant, consider professional evaluation rather than expecting a cream to do the job of a procedure. Because mature skin doesn't need punishment, it needs consistency. And that 3-minute routine is really about one thing, giving your skin the right environment every single day. So tomorrow morning, don't stand in front of your bathroom cabinet wondering which expensive cream is going to fix your skin. Start with the basics, moisturize, protect, and use your active strategically. Then give it time. Because your skin didn't become crepey in 1 week, and you're not going to reverse years of structural change in 7 days. But every day that you protect your collagen instead of damaging it, every day that you support your skin barrier instead of stripping it, and every day that you choose evidence over marketing, you're moving in the right direction. And if you're over 50, I want you to remember something. Aging skin isn't failing, it's changing. Our job isn't to fight every sign of age. Our job is to keep that skin as healthy, resilient, and functional as possible. If you've noticed crepey skin on your arms, neck, chest, or hands, tell me in the comments which area bothers you the most. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.